Alright, the coffin continues. Okay, so as of last week I had everything welded up. We went over that, that's all set. Motor, exhaust manifolds. I did get the little stubbies here to start building my exhaust, just to be able to place it in the correct spot. And what I'm going to do, and we'll take the camera off for a while, I'm going to show you what all this stainless steel is and all this up here. So basically, I'm going to build a box here so I can start creating my stacks. There'll be a total of 8 stacks, 4 on each side. The motor arrived, and I'll give you a bird's eye view of that too in a few minutes when I take the camera off. And we'll go over this layout I have over here. So we're moving along. I was going to have the front end on for today. However, the clamp for the spring, I did not have it. I must have forgot to order it. I went through my orders and I definitely didn't order it. So, you know, mistake on my part. And most of the stuff was ordered back in 2021, I believe, 2022. Because I've been planning this build for a long time. And I got a few other builds that are coming after this that I already have all the parts for. At least most of them. I'm sure there's going to be nickel and dime stuff, you know, during the build I'm going to have to purchase. So, let's get the camera off. Let's start taking a look around here. We're getting a little crowded here. As you can see, I can't even move. And I did a lot of cleanup last week. And I cleaned out under the bench and I started to organize things. I'm just waiting on some shelves to come in with wheels. So this way I can move the shelving around. And I'll be able to stack a lot of this stuff in. Boxes, again, are going to start to reappear because of the parts that we need for the coffin car. So it's hard to keep it 100% clean. Winter's here. It is cold today. Not freezing cold, but cold. So, you know, I popped the heat on in here just to start building the heat up in the floor, so this way it's not going to take $1 million to get the heat set. Because once this floor is hot, the heater barely runs. So it's very economical. Alright, let's get that camera off and let's do a little walk around. Okay, like I tell you every week, I'm not a cameraman. So basically, what we're looking at here is polished stainless on everything. This is the axle here. Here's our spring. These are all the radius rods. These are our spindles. And I'm getting ready to basically start mocking up the front end and the back end. I have to go into the other garage to grab the rear. I have that in a different garage. I'll be grabbing that in a little while. So I put all the ends on yesterday. Just started getting all the hardware where it belongs. And for the most part, everything went well. Just the pan hard bar here. These are for the rear with the Z's in them, the supports. These are for the fronts. And obviously that's your front axle. And your spindles will go on the end here. I have our tie rod ends are here, but I don't know what my tie rod is yet. I have to measure it once I mock everything up. And then I can order that. This here is, I forget what this is. Oh, these are the kingpins. These are the kingpins for the spindles. And so here's what I started mocking up earlier in the week. These arrived, and I went with 2.5 here for the 2.5 inch here originally, but it was too close to the frame, so I ended up going with the 2s. Because again, I mean, we're only dealing with 400 horsepower with the motor, and you know, we're not going to be doing anything crazy. But you know, we need an exhaust, so we have to work with what's going to work with us. I didn't want to start notching the frame and doing stupid stuff like that. So basically, this pipe is going to go down to a box that I'm going to build. And the box will be underneath, most likely set back a little bit. And that box will have the stacks that I'm going to build welded right to it. So this way, it'll be a distribution box with a single feed and 4 exhausts. So that's how we're going to do that, because the exhaust, again, is more show than anything else. Everything is show on this car. There's, you know, I mean, yeah, we got some high performance stuff on here, but nobody's going racing. Nobody's acting stupid with it. We're just going to, you know, it's just a fun thing to drive around. You know, just, you know, get a couple of, you know, looks, and that's about it. You know, maybe go to a car show. I'm not a big car show guy, so we'll see about that. But, I'm going to just put the camera down for a second, and we're going to walk over to look at the engine. So let me just pan over some of this stuff for you. And, you know, we're getting there. think we're moving along. I have to still determine how to cut the coffin. I haven't done that yet. So let's go take a look at the engine. Okay, so there's the engine. It's a blueprint. She dynoed at a little over 400 horsepower, which is going to be quite a lot for this little car. And you know, we got the sniper system. Everything's installed. This is a turn the key and run. I have to do absolutely nothing to this motor except connect a fuel pump, blah blah blah, just a regular BS. It comes with a computer. Here's all the wiring harness. There's a box under there. It came with that air cleaner, but I doubt we're going to use that air cleaner. I think we're going to go with probably a bug catcher or something like that. And you know, it's a quality motor. It's the same you know, same brand that I have in the Chevelle, and the Chevelle runs awesome. I mean, I haven't gone for a ride with it yet, but I mean, it fired up first turn. And that one I had to do a lot more to. That was not totally a drop-in. That was just a long block. Everything else I did. Debating about the water pump. Do I make it a mechanical drive, belt drive? Do I make it an electric drive? Or do I get rid of that altogether and do a total electric water pump on there? I don't know yet. We'll have to see. A lot of it's going to have to do with room, but I think we'll have more than enough room. Once I get it in there, as you can see right there, there's the Chevelle in the background. Oh, there's our buddy Fred. Look, he's still in there. What an idiot. But I think we're going to have more than enough room to fit that, because technically that's the front of our coffin there. So we're going to have quite a bit of room. We got about, I bet you we got about 18 inches, so that should be more than enough. And then obviously the fan and all that, that's going to have to be electric because the radiator is going to be on the outside. So one thing I didn't check is if it actually has oil in it. But it was dynoed, and the numbers were good. And again, 400 plus horsepower in this little car, that's a lot of power. You know, this car's not that heavy. I mean, technically I could still lift up that frame no problem. And even with all the product on there, I'll still be able to lift one end of it. So the car's pretty light. So that's about as far as we got this week. A lot of it was gandering and you know, just kind of setting up and finding all the parts that I have for it. That was a little bit of a pain in the butt. Everything was in my car trailer, and that thing is pretty stuffed with parts for the other projects also, besides the Camaro itself is in there, the 67 Camaro. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this camera back on the stand and finish up. Alright, so basically that's really all I got done, was just starting to get all my parts together, start just assembling whatever wasn't assembled, and I would have had the front end on it, except that I didn't have the clamp. I forgot to order it, I guess, while I was ordering everything else. I didn't order any type of drag links or steering rods because I don't know what I need yet. And the other thing is I need to figure out where I'm going to put that Vega steering box here. I'm going to try to keep it close to the front, and then we have to come up with how we get the steering over to the cockpit. So it looks like we're probably going to have to run that box here and run that rod somewhere on the inner side of the motor mount, and that's going to be tricky. So that's going to be a little tricky because it looks like the exhaust manifold is going to be in the way here. If we go in here as we're exiting, it looks like we're going to have the tranny in the way. So and this is going to turn out to be somewhat interesting. We might have to do you know, some innovative type rigging to make this work. So, you know, that's from a whole other video, I guess. But yeah, so we're there. I mean, you know, our parts are here. I'll bring the rear end in. I do have to paint the rear, but I'm not going to paint anything until after everything is mocked up. I still got some welding on the frame to do besides welding the bottom here on all four where I extended it. I got to put some tabs on here for the radius rods, and I believe, no, I don't have to put light brackets on the frame because everything's going to be on the deck. I'm putting, once it's all together, coffin is on, then I'm going to put a flat deck here that's going to hold the radiator, the tombstone, the headlights, and you know, marker lights, all that good stuff. and you know, whatever else we need on the front. The back is going to end up with the gas tank way back here. Hopefully you can see me. Yep, you can. Way back here where it kicks up, the rear is going to be underneath here, and then we could probably put a like a keg type tank on the back here. So this way, you know, it's in the open, it's out of the way. I don't necessarily like a gas tank right at my head, at my back, but it is what it is. I'll create something to make it safe. And that's about it. You know, once I get everything locked up, everything tacked up, then I can do my final welding. And prior to doing all that, I do need to get it off this makeshift frame jig that I made and get the horses right underneath the frame itself so I can hang the rear, I can hang the front steering and axle and all that, and be able to actually, you know, start seeing this thing come together. And like I said, once it's all together, once I cut the coffin, I'm happy where it's fitting. I'm going to have to decide on the coffin. I do want to put mounts on it, body mounts, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Until I cut it, fit it, I have no idea what I'm going to be able to do. So, you know, because I'm also trying to keep it, not necessarily channeled, but I'm trying to keep it at least on top of the frame. So, looks like everything should fit inside the coffin. Coffin's wider than it looks. So, you know, hopefully we don't got to get creative with that, because that'll turn into a serious project. But like I said, you know, you're going to have good days and bad days when you're doing stuff like this. You're going to have success and you're going to have no success. But can't let it get you down. Just got to keep moving forward and you know, just keep you know, working towards your goal. Oh, excuse me, guys. But you know, I'm walking a little better now, even though my sciatica is still really bothering me. But, you know, it didn't stop me from doing anything here. I mean, again, I didn't do a tremendous amount of work, but like I said, it's going to be a slow process. I do not rush anything, because rushing creates problems, and all the rushing that you do will actually bring you steps back. When welding, just tack everything. Do not make final welds until you know that you can actually create a final weld. Like, I tacked the frame together, I looked at it, squared it, checked it, did short welds, and I moved around so I wouldn't warp anything, and my measurements stayed right on the money. And it worked out well. We're perfectly square, no problems. We didn't lose anything in the front here when it comes to the camber or caster, and you know, we're in good shape here so far. And the mock-up motor, these are great investments. I actually have two of these. One is on loan to a friend, and one I'm using here. And the mock-up transmission. Whatever mock-up stuff you can get, you don't necessarily got to get the valve covers and all that unless you're dealing with height problems. Then it's worth it. The two were under $1,000 for both, but you know, it's a tool that you need. You can't just start trying to move, you know, that massive motor in and out, in and out. And besides that, you're just tacking stuff, so you know, you can't have a lot of weight and take a chance of it, you know, falling, breaking, and hurting you, or damaging the motor. You know, the motor wasn't that expensive. It was probably, I think, to my door with the shipping and everything, I think it was like $6,000. So, you know, in today's standards, to me, that's not expensive. Can I build the motors? Of course I can. Built many motors. Wouldn't be my first. Is it worth it for me to do that? Absolutely not. It's just easier. Unless you're building something really, really special where your hands have to be on it, it's just easier to hire the motor out and just go with someone that's going to offer you, for a project like this, a race car, obviously there's no warranties, but go with someone that's going to give you a decent warranty, which Blueprint Engines gives you a good warranty. I want to say it's a 3-year warranty. I'm not sure. You would have to read their website, and I believe each motor has a little difference. And of course, anything that's used for racing is not warranted, and to even think it would be extremely stupid. So, you know, that's where we are with all that. So they did send me a 100% complete motor, less exhaust and accessories, and starter. But this thing was run already. The timing was set. Everything is ready to go. Basically, all I'm going to do, throw it on the motor mounts, hook up when I got to hook up, turn that key, and it should purr like a kitten. And of course, me being me, the timing light, everything will be out because I'm going to check it myself also. And it's a roller cam setup, so there's really no break-in. Roller cams usually there is no break-in. You know, flat tap it or hydraulic, yes, there's break-in, but on the rollers, there's really no break-in. And anybody that tells you that there is, no, there's no break-in on roller. So that's a point that could be argued, but it would make no sense to break in something that is not going to break in. You know, it's a roller cam. So I guess that's about it, guys. So next week, hopefully I'll have everything hanging. I believe I should receive the parts that I ordered. I want to say everything should be here by Wednesday, Thursday. And most of this stuff is coming from not Speedmaster. Who knows where it's coming from? Speedway. All this stuff is coming from Speedway, which a lot of this is the old T-Bucket company. I can't even remember the name of it now. But they were here in Connecticut. I think they were in Windsor, Connecticut, if I remember correctly. So, you know, all this stuff is, this design, all this stuff is quite old. We know it works. You know, there's nothing new here. This setup has been around for ages. Total Performance, that's the name of the T-Bucket company that was in Connecticut. And they sold it to Speedway. And, you know, so I know for a fact that Total Performance on exactly good stuff, and this stuff really hasn't changed through the years. It's the same stuff. So we still got some welding to do. We still got a lot of mock-up to do because this is not a project where you're just going to start throwing stuff in and thinking it's going to stay there. And once I'm all mocked up, then the fun teardown comes, and then we finish up the frame. You know, putty it up here and there, a little boggle here, a little fill there, prime the shit out of it, you know, scuff it, shoot it with a urethane, and call it a day. You know, it's just going to be a black frame, and that's about it. So we're going to go fancy, but not too fancy. You know, the stainless is going to be the fanciest stuff there besides the engine. All right, guys, that's about it. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And if you could, see us next week, and we'll have a little bit more to show you. Okay, thanks. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next week.